Hello, welcome back to Horse Racing Today at Ben Salem, Pennsylvania for Parx, day 2 of the week with Trifecta. Tuesday with Hollywood Hay, Terry, and myself. How's it going today, Terry?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Yesterday it started out great and went downhill from the fourth race on for me.
Yeah, just sliding down the hill like a toboggan in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is the one race where I did the exactly with that trifecta, win 11-1-6, paid like $135. I should just boxed my 4 horses.
You should have. Yeah, that would have worked.
Well, what are you going to do? That 11 horse got to the lead and won. And we've mentioned before, it's a lot of the reasons why we do a lot of these simulations and create our own data around here, because finding horses that have a good shot to get to the lead and then those strong C zones. A lot of those horses I'm finding when I'm going through my race notes, winner, and a lot of them at prices. I think at 11 paid what, like $23 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Taco bean, right?
Taco bean, yes, that's the one indeed that I am referring to. Well, let's see if we can find a couple of those today. Before we move on to the picks, free picks today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, Louisiana Downs. Click on that link right there. There is a link in the description down there below. It'll take you over there. LRH Heart of Glass is a best bet in one of those little popcorn races, Terry, where the horses are going to run 250 yards.
Yeah.
Hopefully, at the end of that 250-yard bump affair, there will be a winner by the name of LRH Heart of Glass.
All right.
But we're more interested in winners at Parx today. Is that right?
Yeah, we certainly are.
All right. Well, let's talk about the first race and what's about to transpire in about 10 minutes or so.
All right. It's 6.5 furlongs, a maiden claiming race, $20,000 claiming price. Purse $28,000 for maidens and fillies, 3-year-old.
And the profile of a 6.5 furlong winner at Parx has early speed, 29% of the time. They go wire to wire. A little bit of a rail bonus for Neighborline. 2 and 3 play fair. 4, 5, 6, and 7, a bit of a discount. 8 and out, it reverts back to fair, Terry. So some speed. We do some simulations to see who has the most speed here. Another 10,000 simulations on odds. We want to find some value. Hopefully, our simulation odds will be lower than post-time odds. Par plus, the chance a horse has to run a par figure or speed figure above the average winning speed figure at this conditions and surface. Well, none of them so far have that opportunity. And then finally, based upon our projected pace, our comfort zone, how likely this race is to mirror the best performances of that horse, Terry. So looks like one of them's got a chance to get to the lead and maybe never look back.
That's right. That number 1 horse does. That horse is on the rails. Got that benefit of that. And then the overlay, the only other horse is the 4 has some speed. The overlay shows that the 2 is almost 6-1, goes to 10-1. The 4 is 8-1, and morning line and 12-1 on morning line odds. I'm sorry. And the 8 has a small overlay from about 7-5 to 2-1. None of them have any par numbers. The 1 and the 4 have the best C zone numbers.
By far, yeah. I think they add up to more than all the rest combined. So those 2 should be the most comfortable in the race. Let's see if that's how the race actually is likely to play out. Well, the 1 and the 4, they want to be on the front. The 8 is a closer. The 2 and 3, so far in their limited careers, not within 5 lengths of the winner when they took the photo at the finish line. 5 and the 7 are going to give it a go for the first time. So I'm not quite sure what they'll bring when the gates open. But we do know, based upon what we've seen so far, that Neighborline, the 1 horse, the one that we've projected in the simulations, should be on the lead with the rail. The 4 horse should be right there in contention. When they're coming home down the stretch, Terry, look at this one. Nezzy's Girl, the 2, has a major late race advantage. Could make up as much as 4 or 5 lengths on everybody else in this field, notwithstanding the efforts from the 5 and the 7. And then on our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 1 horse, Neighborline, followed by Nezzy's Girl. But about a 3/4 length advantage for Neighborline, Terry. Let's see if it can get the job done. You think someone else will come home?
I like Mikey's song, number 8. She's finished in the money in 3 out of 4 career races at Parx Racing. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1 is my second choice, Navy Line.
Neighborline.
Neighborly. Anyway, she ran second versus similar in her last race. The Real Post winning at a 22% clip. She has the highest last speed rating, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Nezzy Squirrel, the 2, is my third choice. She finished third in her last race, has a bullet workout on February 20th. And then the number 5 horse, Exercise. She is a first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 3 starters is my long shot. I'm going to play a $2 daily double, 1 and 8 with the 1, 2, 5.
I'm going to start off with the 1 horse on that rail, Terry. Neighborline. I think this one we see here, too much early speed, really strong C-zone for the rest of the horses to catch. Gets to the lead, keeps the lead, and goes wire to wire. But maybe the folks on the grounds at Parx disagree with me and the bettors around the country, because right now, Mikey Song, the 8 horse, is the even money favorite. It is the biggest class dropper in the field, Terry. Also, some of the fractions last time out at 7 furlongs were the same as the prior race at 6 furlongs, maybe even a little bit quicker. So the cutback in distance should be helpful. That's a really nice January 23rd workout of well, that's a different horse. That's the next one. Nora's Gamble, the 7 horse. That's the one that has that really nice January the 23rd workout. 4 furlongs and 48 and 1, the 4th fastest of 37 for this first-time starter whose mama makes winners. And then finally, the 5 horse, Exorcist. Yeah, whatever. Another first-timer in here, trainer Scott Lake, cashing the ticket 16% of the time with first timers. Another mama that likes to make babies that win. But I put the other horse, the other first time starter, the 7 over it, because the 5's workouts are, so I describe them, blah. I think they're actually slower than blah. I'm going to do a pick 5. I'm going to single up the 1 here, Terry. I'm going to go 2-5, 2-4-6. I'm going to single up the 4 and then go 69 in the back end of the pick 5. And hopefully when I'm alive there, I'll have 2 tickets to 2 numbers. We'll see if that indeed can be the case.
All right.
Looks like we have a little bit of time before. Yeah, maybe if we race through race 2, Terry, we can probably get it done. So let's give it a whirl.
It's 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 4 races.
And at 1 mile and 70 yards, your typical winner does have early speed. A bunch of them, 4 out of 10, go gate to wire. It looks like, as far as the post positions are concerned, the rail's a penalty, 4, 5, 6, and 7, a little bit of penalty, 2 and 3, a bonus. The best place to be is 8 and out. So a little bit of speed on the outside, Terry, could be useful. And, well, in this race, everybody but the 6, if they step on the gas, has a chance to be on the lead.
Yeah, several of them do, but the 5 shows the most speed of all. The 2 has a small overlay from about 7 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 5 has a small overlay from 2 and about 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. And then all but the 3 and 7 have some par numbers. And then the 5, 2, and 4 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, you're looking at the green boxes here, the 5. Like I said, multiple green boxes usually is a good shot to win that race, Terry. Let's see how they break out. Well, the 3 horse wants to be a lone E. I don't know if he's going to get the lead, but he's on the inside there, so has a good shot to get to the front. Sensible Jim right there. Give it a go. So Singing Through the Storm might need to step on the gas a little more than usual, which could mean it tires more than usual at the end. Predominate is the strongest horse in the end of the closers, a length and a half quicker than everybody else, but probably more than that off the pace when the race gets started, although when it's over, should be in the mix. Give it a go. Predominant, they are your top 2, but you have 3 or 4 of them in here that are within 4 points. A misstep, a little bit of a wide trip could be the difference between first and fourth. Terry, how much time do we have? Are they loaded up for gate number 2?
Yeah, there's 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute.
All right, so give you picks real fast.
All right, number 1, Dad's on the Rolls. My first choice, likes Parx Racing, been in the money 60% of the time, winning 40% of the starts. The distance won't be a problem. Finishing the money 63% of the time, won 27% of the starts. And number 2, Sailor's Return, ran second versus similar in his last race, and he has the highest last race speed rating. Sensible Jim, the 5, is my third choice. Has done well at Parx Racing, finishing the money in 68% of the races, winning 19% of those starts, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. 6, Predominant, is my long shot. He drops a class today, has a highest speed figure today's distance, and a high percentage winning jockey. A pick 4, 50 cent, 125 with 246 with 23 with the 19.
All right. So Sensible Jim, the 5-horse Terry, going to be too fast for the rest of these to catch. Strong Par Plus, strong C-Zone. Sailor's Return just missed at this level. Last time out, running a speed figure, 5 points clear of the next closest horse. Anytime it's 3 or more, Andrew Byers says keep an eye on that horse. Predominant, the 6 horse, has the most back class in the field and running at the lowest level it has in its last 10 starts. And then give it a go. The 4-horse Closer, that's not going to be that far off the pace here, and you're going to get some extra distance, Terry. And we did all that. It's time for me to tell you that I'm going to do a $10 exacta box with the 2 and the 5 as we still wait for 2 more horses in the opener to load. It's the 7 and the 8. The 8 horse right now being a 3 to 5 heavy favorite to bounce my pick 5 right from the get-go. All right. Looks like they're just waiting for the 8 to settle in and the assistant starter to jump up in the gate. Looks like they're all set up and ready to go. The 1 horse acting up a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't stall coming out of the gate there. And it looks like they got the 1 settled. He's anxious to go, and he gets off to a good jump there, Terry, the 1 horse. Good to see that. The 7 horse, Nora's Gamble, storming out to the lead there, Mr. Terry. Not my favorite thing to see when I'm counting on the 1 to have the lead. The 1's down on the rail. The 4 between horses right now battling with the 7 for the lead. To the outside, we have the 8 horse in 4th. They run down the backstretch. The 2 horse making an aggressive move up the lane there on the rail. And 22 and 4 in the opening quarter, Mr. Terry. On the back end, you have the 3 horse Picardy and the 5 horse Exodus as they are trailing the field. Right now, looking at the horses, they're all running pretty comfortably. The jockey on the 1 is standing straight up and down, but he's got really nowhere to go behind a wall of horses. At some point, he's going to have to make a move wide. He is asking the horse to go now, probably hoping for a space to open up on the rail. It looks like he's going to get a gap in there, Terry. He is moving pretty well. The 2 horse continues to hold the lead. Jockey on the 1's trying to get that guy to straighten out, not having a whole lot of luck at it right now there. 2 horse looks like it could be your winner in here, Terry, although the 1's trying to make a valiant effort out on the rail. The 8 horse on the outside, giving it everything he got. The 1 horse in the end, Terry, looks like he's going to creep by the 2 at the finish line. You have the 1, the 2, and the 8, it looks like, and then the 5. 1, 2, 8, and 5, 4, 7, 3. The 3 coming up way behind. That 1 horse, Terry, despite winning that race, probably still one that you want to focus on because did have to break momentum, did have to sit behind a wall, did have to make an aggressive move up the lane and still run going away. Again, we find that early lead, top C-zone pairing, proving to be a winning pair, Terry.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That 2 went off with quite good odds, didn't it? Went up 14 to 1. So if I take the 3 horses, my top 3, that would have been a nice trifecta. I should have done that.
For sure. Well, and 2 on that 2 horse, Nezzy's Girl, it also had that pretty aggressive simulation odds. So it showed some value in there. Who won the first race? Maria Hernandez. You won the first race by joining us today. No, the 1 horse won the first race, and then the 2 horse came in second, Nezzy's Girl, and then the 8 horse came in third. That was the order.
Did you notice that the 1 dropped to even money just like the 8?
Yeah, I noticed he went from 3 to 1 when the gates were about to open. That's because folks all around the world are watching us, Terry. And if you're joining us new today, if you haven't done so yet, kindly hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. There's a share link. Copy the URL, share it with your friends and all your social sites, and follow us on ours right down there. Horse Race, the number 2 day on Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, however it is that you socialize online. Terry, let's move off to race number 2 now. We already did race number 2. Wow,
yeah, we're going to do 3.
We're ahead of the game today, my friend. All right, let's go ahead and tackle race number 3.
All right, 6 furlongs, a $12,500 claiming race. First, $23,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And at 6 furlongs, tactical speed is a pretty good way to get to the winner's circle. Although 23% of the time, horses do go gate to wire. Pretty strong rail bias for Lucky Dude. That's Terry. He gets to work with me every day. Of course, that's the definition of Lucky Dude. As far as that's concerned, after that, 2 and 3 get a bonus as well. 4 through 7, they get squeezed pretty heavily, Terry. 8 and out, almost fair. So inside speed in race 3. Do we have any of it?
Yeah, well, the 4 shows the most speed in here, with the 5 coming in second. All of them show some speed, though. And then the 2 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 3 to 1. 5 has an overlay from 4.5 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 3 to 12 to 1. None of them show any par numbers, and all of them but show some kind of C zones. But the 1, 2, 6, and 7 are the best.
Yeah, nobody really popping a lot of green in here. A lot of red there, some white there. So maybe the 4 horse gets to the lead and doesn't give it up. In race 3, the 4 should be up on the front. Pretty balanced race in here. So everybody should get the trip that they want. Looking at the early speed of the 2 speed horses, tap and formation, looks like it's a little bit quicker. That 99, it's a really good number, folks. That's borderline stakes ability early on, but that late pace is nowhere near stakes ability at the end. In the end, Splendini, the 2 horse, does have a little bit of late legs along with the 1 horse, Lucky Dude. They're pretty much about a length and a half quicker than everybody else in the end. As far as our total pace is concerned, you have Splendidini and Boom Boom Kaboom. They're a little bit ahead of everybody else. Again, pretty competitive, though. Only 10 points separating worst to first. Get stuck wide, get blocked by like the 1 did, might not be able to get to the winner's circle. So a pretty open race in race 3, Terry. How do you see it?
All right. I like in this race the number 4 Ninja Prince, first choice, has an early foot and may lead the race to the finish line, and has the second highest prime power number in the race. And then number 2 is my second choice, comes in from Penn National, Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 6 as my third pick, Tap in Formation, has a high speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1 is the long shot Lucky Dude. He has a high percentage winning jockey, and the rail post is winning a 25% clip. No bet for me in this race.
It's got a lot of people asking again who won the first race at Parx. The 1 horse won. The 2 horse finished second, right?
Yeah.
And then, well, because they're not really posting the prices yet. Was there like an objection or something? There it goes. The 1 horse won. The 2 horse finished second. The 8 horse finished third. That exacta paid $14.10 for a buck. The 50-cent trifecta, $13.50. And if you had the superfecta for a dime, it paid $6.27 with the 5 on the back end of that. And then we have over here, good afternoon. There's a page on broadcasting. Okay, Angel, what page are you broadcasting? Let us know. Today's Ross Tabert, my pick for the day, our race 2, Sensible Gem, 90% burn, 7C Trident, and then race 8, Sunny Side Up. So screenshot that, folks, for all the bets of the day from Ross Tabert in there. Just to let you guys know, there's a shit show going on with the Razor, a new horse racing show today. He's wanting $100 from people to sign up for his picks. All right, well, good luck with Razor. I hope he gets his $100. We're familiar. He's a decent guy. But our picks are on the show free. And over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, I do all the handicapping over there. And we do, I know how well they perform too. That's why we put the free link down there. In race number 3, Terry, I like the 6 horse, my top choice, Tap in Formation. Strong chance to be on the front today, Terry. Strong C-zone as well. I like that. Going to drop to the lowest level of its career. So facing the lightest test to date. Ninja Prize, the 4 horse. Another one that has a good shot to be forwardly placed in the second start after a layoff. The resume says the horse will improve off its last effort. It does have a nice pair of maintenance works to keep the saw sharp going in today. Splendolini, the 2 horse, consistent performer. It's another one that's going to test itself against the lowest level of competition that it has in its career. And then finally, the 7 horse. That was then. This is now. I really didn't feel like there's a bunch of difference between the remaining 3, the 7, the 5, or the 1, although I do like Boom Boom Kaboom's name better. But I figured I'd go with the one with the highest odds in the overlay, Terry. That's why we do the math.
That's right.
No bets for me in race 3. Let's see if that changes in race 4.
All right, a mile and 70 yards, claiming $25,000 claiming price, purse 32,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since November 27th. Claiming races for 16,000 or less were not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
So at a mile and 70 yards, as we mentioned, the speed horses do really good. 4 out of 10, they take the lead. They never surrender the lead, and they just run straight into the winner's circle. A little bit of a rail penalty for game stonks. 2 and 3, a bit of a bonus. 4 through 7. So there's that according again. 8 and out is the best place to be, Terry. Let's see if we have any Buffalo girls on the outside with lots of speed. We don't. It's dead center in the middle of the track.
That's right. And look at how much speed that horse has. Anyway, the 3 has a small overlay from 5 to 2 to 3 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 9 to 2. All of them, but the 4 and 6 have some kind of par numbers, and the 1, 5, and let's see, the 1, 5, and 4 and 5 have the best seasons.
Yeah, indeed. So there you got that combination again. A horse that could blast to the front. The longer he's on the front, the more confident AG&C will be. Long price on the board, too. One of the longest prices on the board. Our pace set up here for that. A lot of horses want to be forwardly placed, Terry. A couple of very versatile horses. Just looking at this, the 5 and the 7 look like they would have the race shape edge. Let's see if the 4 does indeed get to the lead. Yes, about a length quicker than the Goddess of Snakes. A wonderful name for a horse, I feel. And then a pretty big gap down there. So the 4 and 6 should battle it out with the 4 to the inside. Very likely tone setter at a distance where 40% of the horses go wire to wire. Pistols Ablazing has the most late speed, but pretty competitive, except for that speed horse, Terry. And then as far as our total pace is concerned, you got 2 of them here. Divine Grace, Pistols Ablazing. Those 2, Terry, are 6 points clear and 8 points clear of everybody else. We saw one like this yesterday. I mentioned that it should be an exacta. It's exactly what happened yesterday with the 7. And I think the short price 2 horse. Let's see if it happens again today. Is that how you see them? It is.
Well, I like the 2. Yeah, Divine's Grace. She won the 2 races in a row and now going for a hat trick and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Pistols Ablazing. The 3 is my second choice, finishing the money in her last 3 races, running second versus similar in her last race. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 7, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but anyway.
7?
Yes.
Sa Foradada.
Foradada. There we go. She finished 3rd versus Tupper in her last race, drops in class today. 90% Brian. The 5 is
Wonder what the 10% is.
I don't know. Anyways, my long shot. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance and a high percentage winning jockey. And then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, 2-3 with the 1-9 with the 2-6-8, finishing up with a 4-5.
So, and as far as where you can watch the races are concerned, it's a question we get commonly at. And we did want to, there's a horse racing TV. I forget, HRTV, I think is the name of it. You can subscribe there. I don't know what that costs a month. We tried to work out a deal with them, but unfortunately they were not the most polite folks when we contacted them. Unlike us, we're very polite. My suggestion is to do something like Bet Us or William Hill or one of those international horse racing sites where you can usually deposit Bitcoin, open an account, and once you have an account open, whether you bet or not, in most cases you can watch the races. I know in the States I use TVG or Twin Spires to watch the races, and we bet, but I actually compete in contests more than I bet. So that's what I would suggest doing. All right, IN race number 4. I'm going to go with the flyer, Terry, with the front end speed in AG&C. Might be too fast to catch again with that strong C zone and early pace advantage. And the horse is going to be better in its second start after a layoff. Pistols Ablazing, the 3 horse, missed by a head at this level last time out. Really strong par plus in here. Loves to run at Parx 11 times in the money out of 14 races and never out of the money in 6 at the distance. Divine Grace, something we hope that everybody is the beneficiary of. She upped her speed figure in the last 3 races. That is an alpha angle, according to Barry Meadows. Won its first route last time out by 8 lengths, and many horses improve in their second time at a longer distance. And finally, Sa Foradada, lowest level in its last 10 races as far as class, definitely facing tougher horses when it was running on the New York Racing Authority circuit at Aqueduct and Saratoga. For me, I'm going to do a $5 exacta key box, Terry, with the 4, hoping that gets out to the front and hopefully wins, but at worst hangs on for second with the 2, 3, or 7 competing for the win. So I did have a bet in race number 4. Not sure if I do in race number 5, but I might. But I know we'll have thoughts about it.
That's right. It's a 7 furlong race, $10,000 claiming race, purse $26,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since November 27th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less were not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
And at 7 furlongs, the first time we see it today. Saw it a bunch yesterday. Stalkers do pretty good. Very few. Probably it's probably the distance where being on the front wins the least at only 13%. The rail is fair. 2 and 3 get a bonus. Small penalty if you wear 4, 5, 6, or 7, but you really get hammered if you wear an 8 or out. So, of course, I'm going to start with my top pick being above that, Terry. But as far as the early speed is concerned, looks like everybody but the 3 has a chance to be forward.
Absolutely. As you said, most of them have speed. So it's really anybody's guess who's going to get that quarter pole first. The 1 has an overlay from about 3-1 to 9-2. And the 9 has an overlay from about 8-5 to 6-1. The 4, 6, and 9 have par numbers and the 1. And then all but the 3 have some C-zone numbers.
Yeah, it looks like George Thorogood bad might find himself a little bit uncomfortable in this spot today. Let's see if that's how it plays out. Looking at this race shape, a lot of versatility here, Terry. Most of them still want to be middle back. Should open the door for front runners to have a good shot to win here. Tycoon looks like it's the quickest of that bunch with Create Again. The other front runner may be struggling to get to the lead. Might have to work a little too hard early on. Let's see if it has the legs at the end. No, that's Perfect Silent Cat. But if you look at Perfect Silent Cat, not all that far off the top fastest horse. So should sit right in a stalking position with a lot of versatility there, Terry. Maybe can take advantage of those late legs. Does also score out as your top total pace horse, 6 points clear of the next closest horse. So if everything goes according to total pace and the top total pace horse wins at about 31% of the time, Perfect Silent Cat, despite the the post penalty, should win by about a length, and that's the way you see it.
That's true. I like the 9 Perfect Silent Cat. It finished in the money in his last 10 races. Very competitive horse, and won 4 of those starts. Has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 1 Brindinsky won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4 Bullet Butch is my third choice. Won 2 out of the last 4 races at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Tycoon, the 7, is my long shot. He won his last race at Parx Racing. He has a high percentage winning jockey. No bet in this race for me.
So Scary Creation says by the 9 horse, by far the horse to take down here. He's going to take a shot with the 5 Liberty Star. Seems like he can be anywhere and fire, playing to win and boxing him with the 9. I'm going to box it with the 6 horse. I do like the 9 horse. Scary Creations is my top selection as well. Top total pace by 6 points. So it does make it the top best horse by far, according to our total pace. Big overlay too. And this one likes to run at Parx 11 times in the money out of 13 races. That's about 90%. Create Again, track dropper, also has some of the most back class in here. And that was, I think that one's coming in from like the Kentucky circuit, if I remember. Brindisi, the 1 horse, all of its race internals last time out were better across the board. Shows some really robust late speed at times. I think the extra distance today could be helpful. And then finally, Bullet Butch. In the first part of its last race, the horse improved. But it did have a different jockey last time. The 4 races prior to that was jockey Alicio Ruiz, who rides again today, comes back after a 1 race hiatus. Expect a better performance from Bullet Butch. I'm going to do a $10 exacta box with that 9 and the 6. Maybe I should take the 6 out and throw the 5 in so that I'm cheering along with Terry.
Maybe.
Again, if you haven't done so yet, kindly hit the subscribe button. Our goal for 2024 is to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're about halfway there. So it would be very helpful if you told your friends about us by sharing our content, retweeting it on Twitter, or whatever you do on Instagram or Facebook. You know, post the link to the show so your friends know about us. We'd greatly appreciate that, right, Terry?
That's right.
Let's see if we appreciate our picks in race 6.
All right. Well, we're back to 6.5 furlongs. It's an allowance race, $25,000. First, $32,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or claiming, or which have never won 4 races.
So you should get a bunch of multiple winners in here. This looks like a competitive race as far as the conditions are concerned. 6.5 furlong speed is the way to the winner's circle with nearly 30% scoring on the lead. There's a rail bonus, so a practical coach might outrun those 6-1 odds, Terry. 2 and 3 play a bit fair. 4 through 7 a discount again. 8 and out returns to fair. So if you have a little bit of inside speed in race number 6, you got a shot. But once again, we do see a little bit of the speed kind of dispersed middle out.
Yeah, the 4 and the 8 shows the most speed. And if that 8 can get out of that gate, they can go head to head to that quarter pole. And then the 2 shows an overlay of from about 7-2 to 6-1. 3 has an overlay of about 9-2 to 12-1. And the 8 has an overlay of about 8-5 to 7-2. The 1, 2, and 8 are the only par numbers. And several of these have C-zone numbers.
Again, we see that the 8 horse is a green horse. Green boxes galore over there. So
that's right.
A lot of times those horses, folks, they may not win, but they certainly are competitive for the W. Let's see if it'll be competitive. Most horses want to be middle back, Terry. Could give the 1 and the 8 your leader here, most likely, and your horse that wants to be in the co-pilot position, but could also lead if necessary. And looks like Power Agenda will have an opportunity to take the lead if it wants. The Metallica horse, Mr. Enter Sandman, going to be right there as well early on. As they come down the stretch, batter up Bud, the closer, has a little bit of a late edge, but really not a big difference between first and worst there. So Trip is going to be hugely important for the 3 horse not to get caught up in traffic. When you look at the top total pace horse in here, Terry, 8 Power Agenda, 5 points clear. So that means about a 1-length win over the 2 and the 5. Is that what you are calling?
Yep, I like that Power Agenda, the 8. It's won 3 out of the last 4 races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2 Big Boys Answer is my second choice. He likes Parx racing. He's been money 75% of the time here and won 25% of those starts. The distance won't bother him at all, as he's been in the money 100% of the time at this distance. And the 6 Thirsty Pappy is my third choice. Won 2 races in a row and is now going for a hat trick. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1 Practical Coach is my long shot. Finished third in versus similar in his last race, and then Rail Post is winning 22% clip. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Again, no bet for me in this race.
I don't know, Terry. To me, you and Scary Creations, we agree the 2 and the 8 as the top 2 horses, and he's going to box them. It's just the 2 horses trainer winning at 75% at Parx. Me, you, and Scary Creations. That's the Ghostbusters crossing beams once again, Terry. We're either going to blow up the universe or we're going to hit an exacta. But either one of them is probably an appropriate result today. I'm going to go with the 8 horse too, Terry, on top, Power Agenda. Going to be close to the lead as we saw in the pace setup. Got a strong C-zone in there. Overlay, top C-zone, top total pace by a length. Why not? 2 horse, Big Boys Answer did run the top last race speed figure. That was way back on way back on January the 2nd. Since then, had a really nice workout on February the 8th, 4 furlongs in 48 seconds. That's the second fastest of 48 on that day. That workout says that Big Boys Answer will put on the big boy pants today and be ready to go. Thirsty Pappy, I was really surprised not to see this one as your top pick, Terry. You know why?
Yeah, I do. Coming from California.
Yes. And the 2 races that it's had at Parx, neither one of them were close. Just absolute smoke shows.
Sure did.
But not in the smoke show as guys consider it. And then finally, Mr. Sandman, that Metallica horse, really consistent performer, likely better to be a better horse in the second start after a layoff. And as a Metallica fan, if you ever have a chance to go see them play, if you like them, you ought to. It's a good show. This is Parx, where we all seen yesterday. Form doesn't matter. Long shots can come out of nowhere. Indeed.
Yep.
Although I do find, though, Scary, as I'm going through my numbers night in and night out and putting race notes in there, there are some common themes that I'm seeing, especially from long shots. And a lot of those long shots have this combination here where this is dark green and this is dark green. They get to the front at a speed track at a price and they don't give it up. We probably have time to get through race number 7, Terry. So let's go ahead and open the gates.
Okay.
And see if we can get to the finish line before race 2 starts.
6.5 furlongs, claiming $15,000 claiming price, purse $28,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since November 27th. Claiming races for $12,500 are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
So speed on the rail does good. 2 and 3, they play fair. 4 and 7 discount. 8 and out. So a little bit of inside or outside speed, Terry, in the lucky race number 7, the beginning of the late pick 4. Looks like the biggest speed horse scratched out, so maybe a little bit extra giddy up and go for Sea Trident.
Yeah, the 5 shows the most speed, but the 8 and 4 might have something to say about that. The 8 shows an overlay of about 6 to 5 to 6 to 1. All of them but the 2 have some kind of par numbers, and then also all of them have C-zone numbers.
Mm-hmm. Just a lot of green peppered all over the place. So another race, at least from that perspective, that looks wide open. Most folks in here really not a true front runner that's dependent on the lead. So maybe you get to the front with these pressure horses. Most want to be middle back. Has anybody got a real quick early gate? Yeah, this look like Sea Trident even will be out on the lead, but pretty competitive from this quartet of horses here. Should open the door for one that sits maybe second or third. Dixie's 2 stents, maybe a little too far behind Nay Dude to maximize that late speed, although it does factor in as one of the top total pace horses. Nay Dude about 3/4 of a length better than everybody else. Looks like only the 9 and the 2 are kind of out of it in this race, Terry. Again, one I think you can make multiple choices. Which one did you pick?
I like the 4. He's been finished in the money in 7 of his last 9 races. He's won 6 of those starts, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another horse, Sea Trident. The 5 is my second choice, drops in class today. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he's got a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Dixie 2 stents is my third choice, number 6. Finished third versus Simmer in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a bullet workout on February 19th. Nay Dude is the 8. My long shot has finished in the money in 7 of his 8 races here and won 2 of those starts and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to single my best bet of the day here at Parx, the 4, and then go with the 1, 4, 5, then single the 3, then go with the 1, 6, 10, 11. I'm going to bet $10 to win and $20 to place on the 4.
So I guess that makes that your pick of the day, right?
It does.
Scary Creation is going to go with the 1 horse here, likes the record at the distance and likes the price. You know, I agree on that 5 horse, 4 horse, Terry, on the front of my selections. Eben, it's been off since November, so that's a bit of a question in there. But the last time the horse spent a similar amount of time in the barn, when it came back to work, it won by a smashing 7 1/4 lengths. So time off doesn't really hurt that one. Nay Dude, the 8 horse, is a consistent performer that showed some signs of life. Our good friend and who shares 4 and Friday with me, Tom's favorite handicapping angle. Better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers, and at this kind of weird distance in the money, 6 out of 7 races. Sea Trident, the 5, one that should be very forwardly placed here, dropping in class, and could maximize its ability with the 3 horse scratching out. Finally, Dixie's 2 stents. I don't think I want 1, let alone 2. This horse is always close, and as you mentioned, Terry does have a bullet workout as it prepares for today. No bets for me in lucky race number 7. I think we're pretty close to running in race number 2, so let's go ahead and take a look at what the odds board looks like right now. Yeah, they're loading up in race number 2, Terry. As it stands, the 5-horse, Sensible Jim, the one with all that early speed and strong C-zone, is the 9-5 favorite. Next up on the board is the 2, Sailor's Return, which was the morning line pick right there, and an overlay as well. Strongest par plus horse, second strongest C-zone score at 5-2. The 6-horse, Predominate. That one's your third choice in there, Terry, at 7-2. Your 1-horse, Dad's on a roll. Dads should always be on a roll. That one is 5-1. Looks like they're all lined up, ready to get started for race number 2. Just waiting for the assistant, get himself squared away and get the horse's head pointed up. 7 got a little bit of a late break there, Terry. Could be, wasn't really ready to run, I don't think. Right now, the 2-horse, Sailor's Return, has taken charge up on the lead there. So 5-horse that we thought would have the chance has not gotten the lead. Going to get a really rough trip being 3 wide to the outside of Give It a Go as they make their way through the opening turn. A little bit of a gap then after the 3 front runners. Next up in line there, looks like the 3-horse, Singing Through the Storm. Then the 1-horse, Dad's on a Roll. 7-horse is way in the back, up there with the 6-horse. The 5-horse right now, the 2-horse, Terry, has taken a pretty aggressive lead, 23-3 in the opening quarter, maybe a little on the quick side. The 5-horse has moved its way into second place. They are creating a little bit of a distance between the next closest horse, the 4-horse, then the 3-horse. 4-horse is going backwards, folks. So if you got the 4, may not have a shot in here. Looks like the 1-horse on the rail. Although the 4-horse is starting to find a little bit of life now. Really nobody making up a lot of ground on the front runners just yet. They got to slow it down a little bit in the second half. Horse right now that is making a move on the outside is the long shot here. The 3-horse, he's moving the best of all, Terry, right now. Question is he going to run down those 2 front runners? It looks like they went maybe a little too fast. Let's see if they can hold off this bomb. I think it's going to be tough for them to hold off the bomb, though, to be honest with you, Terry. 5-horse looks like it's trying to regain. The 1-horse on the outside. 5-horse is trying to corral that 3-horse. He ain't going to get it done, Terry. It looks like the closers in this race are going to get it done. Unless that 5 could come back. Looks like it's going to be the bomb here, Terry. The long shot's going to bring the race home. 3-5-6-1, 3-5-6-1. This is a case, Terry, of horse racing just beating you.
That's right.
41-1. Was there any hint that the 3-horse in race number 2 was going to get that job done? Let's go back here and look. Anthony Nunez. So let's see here. Ran in the mud. So maybe a little bit of cutback in distance here is helpful because it hadn't really run at that distance. But there's really nothing in any – you have to go all the way back to this race here to get an inclination that the horse might do something. No workout. Trainer wins 8% of his races. So that would be about 7 races out of 86. Maybe the right distance. It was really hard to find that horse in a lot of different ways. If there's anybody out there that can tell me how they ended up on the 3-horse, I'd like to know. Was the dead last here? Did show some early pace ability. Well, here's the answer right there, Terry, I suppose, in race number 2. It was the lone E, but it didn't get to the lead.
Sure didn't. Closed.
Right. So that's a pretty interesting. I guess when you get a low E, you take a lone E no matter what, right?
Yeah. Who
won the second? Ayrton, that 3-horse won all by itself. So that's that would be the only case that you can make. That the 3 got to the lead, the rest of them wouldn't be able to keep pace, but it didn't happen. So got a bomb there, folks. Hope somebody had him. Unfortunately, you and I didn't. So let's see if we have what it takes to win this race, Terry. Race number 8.
All right, let's get going here. It's a 6-furlong race, maiden $40,000 purse, and it's for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens. It's fillies, 3-year-olds.
Yeah, and 6 furlongs on the Ben Salem Dirt Stalkers. Michael Jordan, 23% of the time they go wire to wire. Pretty strong rail bias for Mary Chill. 2 and 3 get a bonus as well. 4 through 7 penalty, 8 and out, almost come back in. There are a lot of these horses, half of them, I think, making their first start, as we can see here in race number 8. So we're not really going to go through any data. Yeah, you have 4 actually of the 7. So data really kind of meaningless. So we'll just go straight to handicapping and straight to picks.
All right. So I like the 4 Noisy on the Bay. Finished third versus Tupper in his last race. Drops in class today, and Lasix is added. Mary Chill, the 1, is my second choice. He ran second in his last race. The rail post is winning at 25% clipped, and Lasix is added. And then number 5, Sunny Side Up, finished third in his only start. And then the 7 is a first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 1 starter and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. That was my long shot. No bet for me in this race.
I'm going to go Sunny Side Up. I don't like my eggs like that, though, Terry. Do you like Sunny Side Up? Runny, yolky eggs?
No, I do not.
Nor do I. I just, when I see people drink raw eggs like on YouTube and stuff like that, almost I gag just from watching them drink raw eggs, let alone me try to eat them. Anyway, the 5 horse in its debut, a little bit of a slow start, rushed up. And anytime you see a horse rush up, you know they're going to tire late. That's exactly what happened out of Sunny Side Up. So I'm expecting the horse makes second race improvement. And if it does, we talked about this last week, but if Sunny Side Up, the 5 horse, can make any any improvement, you can add 8 to 13 points to its last race speed figure, 59. So it could get to 72, which would put it pretty close to the speed rating needed to win at this level. And most of the other horses, I don't think, can get to that number, Terry, except for maybe the 4 horse, Noisy on the Bay, is coming from a $200,000 non-graded stakes race where it finished a decent third. The reason I put the 5 on top of the 4 is I think this 4 horse coming off of that third place finish in a $200,000 non-graded stakes race, it might show up here on the odds board at 2 to 1, but guess what? It's going to be 1 to 5, you think, Terry?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, going to be really low. Missy 60 Sticks, 2 horse, is a first-time starter in here, Terry. In my opinion, of the first-time starters, has the best workouts. Finally, Mary Chill, the 1 horse, maybe some upside for this horse. And I think it just looks better than all of the rest that are available. No bets for me, but if I were going to bet, Terry, I was going to bet the 5 horse to win here, but I over-allotted myself, so I had to make some changes to my bets.
Okay.
First race of the late daily double, Terry, is the 9th race. Tell us what it's all about.
All right. This 9th race is going to be at a distance of 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming race, $35,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to maybe get claimed, a purse of $52,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, or which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $35,000.
So back a race there for race number 8. Scary going to go with the 7, Left the Rah. Trainer winning at a good clip. And they won their first race today. Robert Garcia, the 3 horse, won at a big, big, big price at Parx in the second leg right there. That answers your question too, Rodolfo. No doubt about that. Luis Herceli Gonzalez Carmona on the 5 on this race or a previous race. Ross Noisy on the Bay is like the Neil Young song Midnight on the Bay. I like musical references too. It's one of my favorite things to try to do. And then Robert Carrera, 2 horse. That's what he likes in race number 2, it looks like. All right. As for race number 9 at 6.5 furlongs, Terry, with these conditions that you outlined right there. Again, we want speed horses. A lot of them go wire to wire. A little bit of an inside bonus for 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of a discount 4 through 7, 8 and out. Play fair. So if you have any inside speed in race number 9, Terry, it could find the winner's circle, and it looks like there's going to be a dog race when they get started.
Yep, the 2, 3, and 4 show some speed. They're all inside. So anybody's guess. I don't know who's going to get to that quarter pole first. The 3 has an overlay of about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. And then all but the 2 and 5 show some kind of par numbers. And then all but the 3 and 5 show some C-zone numbers.
Now, a lot of green for the 4, a lot of green for the 3. Jerry, are we going to make some green on that bet? Let's see, race number 9. Everybody's middle forward. The 2, 3, and 7 have the most versatility in this race. Let's see if they have an opportunity to take advantage of it. Well, the 3 and the 4, they're going to get out to the lead early on. 2 is going to be right in that mix. So just looking at these numbers here, Terry, 4 of the 6 with pretty hot early pace numbers. I think it's going to give an opportunity for a closer to maybe run down some of these. But then again, none of them really have a really big late pace advantage over the next closest horse either. So that's kind of interesting. Looking at the top total pace horse in here, Terry, Talented Man, a little bit better than everybody else, thanks to its little bit late pace advantage. Again, an horse that if it gets to the lead, Terry, they might not be able to pass what they can't catch with those late legs. Where do you have the 6?
I like the 3, Major. Won 7 races out of the last 9 starts at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 6, Talented Man's my second choice. Won 5 races out of the last 10 starts at Parx Racing. He finished 3rd in his last race. The Eagle Man, the 2, is my third choice. He ran 2nd in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days has won 3 out of 6 starts with 2 seconds. And then the number 4 is my long shot, Magic in the Moonlight. Won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick now and has got the highest last speed rating. I'm going to use the rest of my money and bet 5 to win and 8 to place on the 3.
Parx Racing's 3 wins. Number 4, Ninja Prize, says the Gringo. All right, I don't know if this is true or not. This is what I heard. You know why they call us gringos, Terry?
No.
Because the Army, when they would go down and invade Mexico, they had on, or Texas, they had green uniforms on. So they told them green go. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told.
It could be.
And maybe, I don't know if someone knows if that's fact or not. I'd like to know. I mean, I've heard that. It's maybe a wives' tale, but I'm not sure. Race number 9 for me. I like the 3 horse Masur, strongest par plus and overlay in this field. I'm curious, though, about the class rise after faltering at a lower level last time out. But then I looked at the distance for this horse. It's run it 4 times, Terry. You know how many times it's won?
4.
4 for 4 at this weird distance. Talented Man. That's why I work with Terry, because he is the talented man. His back hurts from carrying the show every day. But the 6 horse is an extremely consistent performer. The only thing for me has been off since the November the 14th. But when you look at those workouts, Terry, they're blazing. Look at these workouts for this 6 horse getting ready for this race right here. Look at this. A little bit of a breather on this one, Terry, but bullet. And here, just a little bit of another one. Prep. I mean, this horse is running fast on the track. Let's hope he's not like me on the golf range where I can't take the 300-yard drive from the range to the course. The 2 horse, Eagle Man, up to speed figure in the last 3 races. Again, that's a 15+ winning percent angle, according to Barry Meadows. If it rains in the afternoon like it's supposed to, I would upgrade this horse because he's done great work on a wet track. And then Magic in the Moonlight, going to compete for the lead here. I really wanted to put the 1 in here, Terry, because it was the strongest closer in the group against a hot pace. But if it doesn't get too hot, Magic in the Moonlight could take them wire to wire. No bets for me in this race, Terry, as we make our way to, I went with the 3 Masur myself. Tons of speed in here, though. 4 always gets the lead, but the 3 loves the track, so rolling. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Scary. This race is going to be blazing when the gates open. I really wanted the 1 horse because it had the most late speed in the race, but unfortunately, the trainer decided to put it on the sidelines with a veterinarian, whoever. Last race at Parx today. Tomorrow, I will return with Charles. We'll have a little bit of news to break tomorrow with Charles. We'll get to that tomorrow. In the last race, though, Terry, today at Parx, they're going to go back to a route.
That's right, 1 mile and 7 yards again. Claiming race, a $7,500 claiming price. Purse, $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races. Pretty simple.
Yes, very easy. And horses that get to the front, they have found it to be the easiest way to win. 40%. That's a big number. Going wire to wire is a rail penalty for the inspector. 2 and 3 a bonus. 4 through 7 a penalty. The very best place to be, especially if you have some speed, is to be a Buffalo girl on the outside with some speed, Terry. And it does look like one of them fits that bill.
That's right. That 11 horse shows all the speed in the world. And Then we've got the 8 with an overlay from 2-1 to 8-1, and the 11 has a small overlay from about just a little bit over 7-2 to 8-1. The 8, 11, 7, and 6 show some par numbers, and then all but the 3 has C-zone numbers.
Another one of these Gringo horses. Maybe that's what I'm going to start calling them, Gringo horses. I think that's a good idea, Terry. I'm going to call them the Gringo horses.
Yeah.
When we get a lot of green across here. So hopefully we don't catch too much flack for calling them Gringo horses. I know people get canceled in 2024, but it won't be us because we pick winners, Terry. I like to take a look at the last time of the day. Balanced racing here, Terry, almost perfectly balanced. You do have one Sesame Street horse in the 7. Chip's Friend, early on when the race gets started. It does look like the 11 and the 10. Chip's Friend, a lot of horses with some speed. So much like the 11 yesterday, it's going to have to clear, and that 10 is going to make it work to get the lead. I don't think there's any question about that. At the end, Warriors Vendetta. That one's about a length and a half faster than everybody else from the closing position. Should have plenty of speed to run into at the end of the race, Terry. Does rate out 4 points better than KQ. But again, looking at this, Terry, everybody with the 1, 5, or 4, really, you can make a case within a length. Big field, so that means there will be traffic problems. So good trip is going to make for a good opportunity to win. Who's going to get the best trip?
I like the 11, Wilkinson Warrior. He's in top form right now, running second versus similar in his last race, just missing the win, and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the claiming races he has a horse entered in. Then I like number 10, Kiyu, Kani, whatever.
I'm going to KQ. That's what I'm going to go with.
Whatever. He finished third versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer in Jockey. The 1 Inspector is my third pick, won his last race at Parx Racing. And the distance will not be a problem. And then I like 6 AFY Kid. He likes Parx Racing, finishing the money 60% of the time and winning 20% of the starts here. And the distance is to his liking, as he's been in the money 71% of the time at today's distance, winning 14% of the starts. No bet for me here because I'm out of money.
So if you haven't done so yet, again, just a quick reminder, like Don Johnson says, he likes the show. Great show. If you agree with Don, thumbs up, like many of us have given us on Facebook today. Want to say thank you to Shinakua Kanakusa. I hope I got that right. To Rajesh Singh, Helena Juvenal, Rebecca Pollard Rhodes, always great fan of the show. Thank you, Rebecca, for always being with us. Philip Perkins, again, another name we see constantly. Thank you, Philip, for being with us all the time. Art Brown and Beverly Taylor, Honey Bunny, liking the work today of terrific Terry Hollywood. Hey, so race number 1, race number 1 was won by the 1. Race number 2 was won by the 3. So using that math, race 3 should go to the 5 horse, right, Terry?
Yeah.
I like in the final race, the 11 horse, Wilkinson's Warrior, another that might get to the front, have too much early speed for the rest to catch, and has that solid C-zone to go with it. Warriors Vendetta is that top total pace horse. 3/4 length clear of everybody else. Going to drop to a level where the last time it faced this kind of competition finished second. So put him in second again today. Chip's Friend, a chance to be forwardly placed here. Overlay, tie for the top C-zone. Going to be a decent price too. And finally, Disturbed. Yes, that's me. Third up off a layoff. The resume says it will be better in the classic third start after layoff. C-zone, pretty solid as well. No C-zone right there at all, Terry. But this one did show some strong late race improvement in its last effort. So going another 70 yards could be a difference maker. I'm going to do $1 trifecta box with the 3, the 7, the 8, and the 11. Looks like this is a race where anybody could win at a big price, and hopefully we catch 3 of them, Terry, at a good price to close out Parx for the week.
That's right.
Does anybody have any of them transmitting? So the best way to watch them, honestly, guys, is to go out to like Bet Us or one of those offshore, like Cayman Island or Australian or one of the Bahamas where they have horse racing books. Open up an account, deposit some Bitcoin because they usually take Bitcoin. Then you can watch the races live. That's really the best way to go. Again, tomorrow I'll be back at high noon with Charles. We'll have some information, some new breaking news from horse racing today that we'll share with you tomorrow. And then we'll be back again for Gulfstream Park on Thursday. Not quite sure what Tom and I are going to do from 4 on Fridays, but whatever we do, I know it will be fun. And of course, Terry, we're hoping to have fun the rest of the day with the rest of our picks for Parx.
That's
Any
right.
final thoughts from you before you and I get out of here?
Yeah, please subscribe to YouTube and hit that little bell so you're notified about all our great programs. Go down and copy the link and send it to everybody you know so that they can also come and take a look at our programs. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us likes and thumbs up. It really helps us out. So, and I'm glad to see everybody that was here, and I liked all the comments. Really nice.
Indeed, we appreciate all the input because the comments, the thumbs up, any kind of interaction between you and us, which we're grateful and thankful for, helps us with the algorithms. So wait for them to say who won. When it will play. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be around for race number 3. We're going to be out of here because it's too long to go. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, no matter where you are in the world, because apparently a lot of folks joining us from South America. And I know we get English, we get Turkish as well. So no matter where you are in the world, we certainly hope that your day, your dreams, everything that you do and your picks has God's grace, God's favor, and ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this terrific Terry Tuesday. See you tomorrow at Gulfstream with Charles. Make it a great day.